Hello everybody, it's Path. So today we're going to talk about a very hot topic that everyone must be thinking about before tomorrow when it is officially released worldwide. Of course, I know that if you watch YouTube, especially in America, you have seen that there are already people opening up products. I'm not sure where they got it from. Maybe they got it early from the distributor. But in Singapore, where we got it from Maxsoft, which is the regional distributor here with the headquarters in Singapore, the shops are only getting them tomorrow. So I think if you're like me in Singapore, you will be only able to find them or to buy them tomorrow. So I think it's very important that we talk about a few topics that I'm going to cover today. First one, what are the good cards and what are the promos in the ETB and how are the pull rate like. We have some information, but of course it's not really super accurate, but I think it's a good estimate based on many data out there. Third one is availability of it, especially in Singapore. Of course, we are not comparing it to in America. I'm going to explain it a little bit more later. And the fourth one is investment potential of this box. And if you have seen my earlier video, I always say that this is of course not a financial advice and it's not an investment advice, but I'm going to share with you what are things that happened for the last few sets, especially specialty sets like that, how I view this product and what I'm going to do. I'm going to share some of my plan as well. And lastly, we're going to talk about Gen 5 popularity and how it may affect the potential of this box and whether you should get it or not. Your decision, I think, very heavily really dependent on the last point. Okay, let's get into this. I try not to make a very long video out of this, hopefully within 10 minutes. Let's see whether. First of all, let's look at the cards in Black Bolt. And I think the cards are mostly almost exactly the same as those in the Japanese set. Of course, there are some promos they are in and there are some promos they are not in the English set, but I think except besides the red Victini, the special BWR red Victini that is in the English set, I don't think there are any differences in the cards. So you can take a look here. In the Black Bolt, the more popular ones, of course, is Zekrom, which is like the Pokemon on the cover itself. So you have the EX version, you also have the BWR version. I have heard many people saying that the texture of this is really nice, but there are also many error print on the surface and all over the cards. So many people are calling it special because it is a print error, but I would just call it damage to the card. So I do not know how it will go, but that's what I have heard so far. But I really like the Zekrom EX card. It looks very menacing, it looks very fierce, and this is the kind of Pokemon card I really like. And the third most expensive card in Black Bolt is actually Ends Plot. I really do not know about trainer. I'm not a trainer person, but if you're into them, maybe you enjoy it. But after that, you can see that the prices actually drop off quite quickly. And this is Shinji Kanda's artwork. I'm not sure how many there are, but if you just look at the artwork, it is a signature from Shinji Kanda. So this is definitely a card that I will try to get, because I actually started collection for Shinji Kanda and some other artists that I like. So that's definitely one card I would love to have. And if I scroll down a little bit more, you can see that there are, and this card, if you do not know yet, the special thing about this set is that these are all Gen 5 Pokemons, and they actually made illustration rare for every single Pokemon. And I think that is really cool, because if you happen to have a favorite Pokemon in this generation, then you can definitely find an IR. I think this is something that they are trying to cater for people who have niche Pokemon that they love, because we have so many IR, SIR for the popular ones, Pikachu, the Charizard and Mew and all that, but there are many smaller or less popular Pokemon that is not shown as much love. So like some of these Pokemon, honestly, I don't even know them, because I played Pokemon but only up to Gen 3. So Gen 1 to 3 I'm definitely much more familiar, but this I probably only know like maybe 20-30% of them. The rest of them I have probably never even heard of them. So let's move on to White Flare. So similarly, the two most sought after card in Japanese was Reshiram. I think no surprise there. Hydreigon. I think this is also another really popular one. Zoroark is in this set as well. And you have the Whimsicott, the Oshawott. Some of them are really cute. Zoroark is really nice Tepic. I think this one, most of us are familiar. One of the starter, Samurott. Yeah, some of this, I think in White Flare, there are more Pokemon that people are probably a little bit more familiar with. At least that's true for me. I'm not sure about you. Let me know in the comment which one has more, you know, familiar Pokemon to you. But similarly, you have all of them 160, I think 150 something Pokemon Gen 5, all in both sets combined. So here you have in the Japanese set total 174 cards, and the secret card is 88 of them. So when you combine both of them, it's more than like 160 IR or something like that. And then you have the SIR as well. This is one of the other cards in Japan. It was causing a big hoo-ha because apparently they only give this out in promo as a match promo. I think if you probably participate in some kind of event, they'll give out as a promo, and it was going for a very expensive price. Even right now, it was going for upward of, I think, still close to 700 USD, 800 something Singapore dollar, close to $900. So it was more than $1,000 earlier, and now it's slightly dropping. And because at the beginning there were rumors saying that this is going to be very, very rare, very, very scarce. It's going to be less than a few hundred copy, few thousand copy, I'm not sure. I think you'll be happy to know that if you like Victini, this is Victini. So if you like this one, you'll be happy to know that it's actually included in both the Black Bolt and the White Flare as part of in the card pool. Of course, the pull rate itself is probably not going to be easy, but then at least we know it is available in the pool and not as a separate promo. And I also wanted to show you what is the promo card you will get out of the normal Elite Trainer Box, the ETB. I'm not talking about the PC version, so definitely no stamp there. So on the Black Bolt, you are going to get the Thunderous. So honestly, the art is not really for me. I mean, I'm not a Thunderous fan, and the card doesn't seem too enticing to me as well. So yeah, if you like Thunderous, I think maybe this is your thing. But that's unfortunately not my cup of tea. This one looks a little bit better, Tornadus, but still the green color puts me off a little bit. I do not know. I really don't enjoy this two promo card too much. But I don't think, maybe it's a good thing, so that in the recent few weeks there are many people who say that there are market manipulation, people who are pumping promo cards and things like that. So maybe it's a good thing that the promo card is not so enticing. Maybe it's a good thing that people will not pump this, and the ETB can stay a little bit more affordable. Maybe it's a good thing, who knows, right? The next thing we're going to talk about is the pull rate, and I think this is actually good news. And for once, the pull rate in English is actually better than the Japanese counterpart, and I think this is really good. In the Japanese set, they actually have about 4 AR in a normal booster box, and that will translate to about 7 to 8 packs per illustration rare. And in English, it seems like we're gonna get about 6 packs to get 1 IR, so 6 to 7 I think, but 6 is probably a little bit more aggressive number, but I think it's somewhere in between. 6 to 7 packs on average you're gonna pull a IR, and this is almost double the usual rate. The normal pull rate is about 12 packs per illustration rare, especially in a normal set. This is of course a specialty set, and if you compare this to set like Crown Zenith, of course this is not as good. They have their trainer gallery. I think that's about 1 in every 3 to 4 packs, something like that. So this is, even though it's a lot better than a normal set, but still I think you'll be happy about this. But the other thing is special illustration rare is about 1 in 76 pack, so that this translates to about 9 normal ETB. Yeah, 8 to 9 normal ETB. If you have an average luck, you only expect to pull a special illustration rare in about you know, every 76 packs. They here this. Oh, by the way, this is from PokeBeach, and it seems like based on a few comparison to other people sharing the pull rate, I think it's pretty similar. Of course, in this you also have the Pokeball, you have a Master Ball reverse, and it is confirmed that we also get God Pack in these sets. I just saw a video from Danny Phantom showing that he pulled a God Pack, and every single card in the pack is illustration rare and ended in a SIR. I think that is Reshiram, is it? Am I right? Let me take a look. Is it Reshiram? No. No, wait, yeah, it's Reshiram. So he put a white flare, got pack and ended with this card. So it's really nice. And yeah, so this is probably something that is going to be interesting to you as well, especially if you are trying to pull a god pack to chase the pump. Yeah. But anyway, I think it's a good news that the rate for illustration rare is slightly easier, better now, considering you have more than 160 to chase. Next up, we are going to talk about the not so good news. So unfortunately, the availability of this ETB is really bad, especially in Singapore. I have a feeling that ETB doesn't come to max off too much, or at least in this region, because my guess is probably because it is not so easy to ship compared to booster boxes and booster bundles or things like that. So collection box and ETB, usually it is actually more expensive, quite a little bit more expensive in Singapore compared to what you guys are getting in the US or even Europe sometimes. In Europe, I think it's probably similar, as at least in UK. I think the price is quite similar, but ETB in America is a lot cheaper than what we can get in Singapore. I mean, the Singapore MSRP is like 90 Singapore dollar, which translates to about maybe 60, 70. Yeah, right now it's about 70, close to 70 USD. That's our MSRP, so it is quite a little bit more expensive this time round. From what I heard, my close supplier, the two of them that I frequent, they both told me that they are only given one case each of the black bolt and white flare, so that translates to 10 sets of them. Usually they try to sell them in sets because people typically wants to buy a black bolt and one white flare. So that's only 10 sets. So if you are thinking about buying cases, I think I wish you good luck. I mean, the only way is if you can buy them, import from the US at a much more elevated price. So at the moment, TCG player is showing $128 USD, 112 here. So if you look at this is sold $128. This is the listed price, so $128 right now. And this is for black bolt. For white flare, it's the same thing, $128 if you want to buy them. So, and in Singapore, what I heard was that if you're buying it as a set, the price ranges from about 320 Singapore dollar. So 320 Singapore dollar, if you convert it to US, is probably close to 250. Yeah, so 250 American dollar USD per pair of the ETB. That's the price that you have to pay a normal ETB. But there are actually shops who are selling them at much more affordable price. I'll give you an example. Neutral. This is a shop in Singapore. Shout out to you. I went there for to send two of my cards for grading. So that was my first time checking out the shop. I have heard good things about them. And so yeah, just want to give them a little shout out. I'm not sponsored in any way, but they are doing good things, so I think they deserve it. They actually did a small, they call it the pre-sale. It's not a pre-order because this is 100% guaranteed stock, because they only sell whatever number they definitely gotten from Maxoff, from the distributor. So I suppose they probably sold like 10 of black bolt and 10 of white flare. I actually don't even know whether you can choose. Maybe it's random, right? So they did a sudden drop, a surprise drop 2 days ago. Unfortunately, I missed it. I only saw it yesterday and I was too late. But the thing I wanted to highlight is the price, because they actually sold it at 75 Singapore dollar, and that is about 60, less than 60 American dollars. So, and this is definitely way less than MSRP in Singapore. But this is actually the normal price that I used to pay before Surging Spark. So this is, I think I really shout out to them for trying to do the right thing. I mean, definitely they are still making a good profit, but of course it's only like 20 ETB. So honestly, in absolute term, they are not making too much, but still they're trying to do right for the fans. I think all their customer, people who follow them, you know, they're regulars. So I think, yeah, they probably deserve to be supported. So if you are nearby, maybe give them a shout out, go and support them. Hopefully they, you know, get bigger next time when they have drops like this again. Hopefully you can, you know, get in. But I don't think it is easy to find this price anywhere else in Singapore. If you're lucky to, you know, get somebody to sell you at 90, 100, I think that's already a good price. But still, almost every shop that I asked, they said they only got about a case of Black Ball and White Flare each. I think it's gonna be very tough. I think that's the piece of bad news, unfortunately, I wanted to share in Singapore. So if you're in America, maybe you can, you know, pity us, you know, send us some of the cheaper ones that extra ones, and so that we can enjoy it in Singapore as well. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. The next thing is about investment potential. If you look at ETB before the boom, before last year, you will notice that actually ETBs are actually not something that people invest in, because if anything, usually the booster boxes are the one that goes up first, and ETB usually lags behind by quite a bit. Let me just give an example, like for what is a good example? Actually, right now probably not a very good example, but even for for Evolving Sky, when the booster boxes was cracking $1,000, so if you just count the number of packs, this one has 9 packs, right? Oh no, I think it's 10. Am I right? 10 packs for Sword and Shield. So you should expect that the price of this to be about close to a third to a quarter of a booster box, but at the moment it doesn't seem to reflect it that way. So yeah, if you just count the pack prices or the number of packs, it just doesn't tally usually, and that's the reason why most people do not keep, you know, ETB in the past as an investment, because a booster box is just doing so much better and they takes up a much less space. So in terms of investment, usually that's what people will do. But the special thing about Black Ball and White Flare is that because it's a specialty set, it does not come with booster box. So the ETB and the booster bundle becomes the more chase after product. But for ETB, I think it depends on a few things. The promo is important. So in this case, the promo I don't think is very nice, but I may be wrong. Maybe a lot of you actually like the promo. Yeah, but if the promo is good, then the price is actually going to be quite good as well. And recently, Pokemon Go is actually also going up. It's actually doing pretty well as well, Mewtwo. And of course, your Crown Zenith ETB, these are all the other specialty set. And what else is there? Pokemon 151. So you look at the prices, $180, $255. This is slightly going up, 87, but I think it's the weakest set among all this. And then you have your Paldean Fate also, you know, approaching $200. And the most recent, of course, more recent one, you have your Shrouded Fable, which is $66 right now, and Prismatic Evolution ETB right now is 110. I think at the moment the most recent one is this one. So let's take a look at this Prismatic Evolution. Of course, I do not expect the Black Ball and White Flare to do as good as this, but if you look at the set value, Black Bolt is about 1003 and White Flare is about 1001. Okay, maybe let's not add those two up because it's not combined into one, right? So let's look at this one, Black Bolt, $1,300. And if we compare based on the past few sets, usually the English counterpart is maybe about 20 to 30% more than this, so which will brings it to about 1500 set value, 1006 when it settles down. So if we compare it to Prismatic Evolution, of course it is a lot different because Prismatic Evolution set value is much higher. So when it was just released, which is in January, it was like $8,000 set value. Total set value right now is about 4,008. So that is your, I just wanted to let you know it's not a very fair comparison, but if you just look at the ETB prices at the moment, I remember it was actually selling at close to $130, $150 when it was released, but let's just assume that it's $125 at release, which is almost exactly the same as what the Black Boy and White Flare ETB is going for. But because the set value is not as high, it's not going to be as high as Prismatic Evolution, I suspect the value is going to drop. Even though they have many IR, many special things like the BWR, the black and white card, and the red Victini inside, I honestly do not think the value can hold. In fact, I think it's probably going to be a little bit more similar to what we see in Paldean Fate. Like it's going to drop. Even 151 actually dropped, right? I mean, it's a different market, and right now we know that everywhere you can't find the product. Basically, you really cannot find the product, and if every shop only has 10 sets of them, and there are so many people who want the product, I think in the short term it probably is going to maintain, stay quite stable in this price, similar to what Prismatic Evolution is doing. But as soon as they have a chance to reprint, and after a few more sets come out, after the mega sets comes out, and people start getting sick of it, and maybe it will start dropping in the next, maybe, I think that will probably be like 3-4 months after, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm not going to pay, honestly, anything more than like $100 in Singapore dollar. Actually, even in Singapore dollar, I do not think I want to pay anything more than $100. So if I can find good places who are selling at a good price, maybe I'll pick up a few. And as you know, I'm a booster box guy. I mainly collect booster box unless there's a very good deal for ETB. Otherwise, I do not see why I want to, I really do not have so much space to store them. And the last topic I wanted to talk about is just Gen 5 Pokemon in general. I really asked myself and I asked my friends, how many of you actually are really a fan of Gen 5 Pokemon? I know they are. It really depends on how old you are. For me, I'm not very young, I'm not super old as well, but I am really much more familiar and much more relatable to the Gen 1, 2 and 3 Pokemon. But if you're a younger person than me, maybe you are more familiar with this, maybe you can relate to this, then maybe you will really value this Pokemon set, the ETBs. But how many of you guys out there really wants to chase all these cards, try to master set this? I really wonder, and I think that is the biggest factor that will decide how this set will do. So if there are enough people who chase after all these cards, I think this set is going to do very well. After a while, if people get sick of this, if all these cards become like almost like a bulk card, $1.50 or something like that, then I doubt this ETB will hold up too well. But still, because this set, I think for the fact that it actually comes with a God Pack as well, I think it's not going to do too badly. So especially if you are a Gen 5 supporter, I think this is a set that you should buy, definitely. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Let me know whether you're going to buy this ETB or not, and how much you're going to buy, what is the price that you're willing to pay. Let me know in the comment down below. See you in the next one.